Welcome. My name is Mandy and I am a yoga instructor with Cone Help. I've been with Cone for almost 3 years and I teach mostly a restorative style of yoga, slow-paced, deep stretching, and finding awareness of the breath. Today we are going to begin on our back bodies. There are no supportive tools as in blocks, straps, or blankets needed unless you want to bring them in. And when you're ready, we'll arrive on the back. And as you come on to the back body, the feet are planted. The shoulders are going to lift and snuggle under the back. Chin draws slightly to chest so we can elongate the back of the neck. Hands are going to come and rest on the rib cage if that's comfortable for you. And if not, you can always just let the arms be in a wide V by your side, palms face up. The soles of the feet will come together, dropping our knees out wide. This is called Supta Konasana, or reclined bound angle. And before you land here in this shape, notice if you are holding tension in the hips by trying to keep the heels close in. You can let the feet extend farther down towards the bottom of the mat or your space. Begin to slow the breath and observe as when the breath comes in through the nose, that cool air, and then the warmth that releases as you breathe out. Feel the expansion of the belly as it rises and falls with your breath. Collecting 3 more sets of breath. Right knee draws to chest. Fingers can either interlace behind the right thigh or on top of the right shin. See which access gives you the best way to keep the shoulders on the ground. And hug the right knee off to the right side of the body. You can extend the left leg long. Create some circles with the right ankle. Beginning to open through our right inner hip. Left hand will release to the top of the left hip as the right hand opens the right knee. We want the entire low back pressing into the mat, shoulders relaxed. Next breath that you draw in, both knees arrive at chest. Keeping the knees in the air, arms come into cactus where the elbows are bent and the hands are up towards the top of the mat. It's also called goalpost. And we'll drop both knees over to the right, letting the knees stack, inner arches of the feet hug together. Both shoulders are still grounding as you let the head roll to the left. Aligning head back at center. Draw the low belly in as the knees lift back up to the sky. Fingers interlace around either the left shin or behind the left thigh as the right leg extends long on the mat. Left knee off to the left side body and creating your circles on this side. And connecting with your breath. The right hand will release to the top of the right hip, guiding now the left knee open. Expand through the belly. Left knee comes back towards center as the right knee now draws in. Back to cactus with the arms. And knees drop over to the left. Rotate the head towards the right and melt the right shoulder. And creating space throughout the back body. Head comes back to center. Ribs hug in, knees back at chest. Hug the knees both in, rocking side to side as you press the low back into the mat. And come back to stillness. We're going to arrive at seated. There is a part of this practice where you can rock up and down on your spine to come up to seated. You can also roll to one side and then arrive. But if you'd like to rock a couple of times, you draw the knees in, hug low belly in, press the body up, and then roll back down and back up. And once you come upright, we're going to come onto hands and knees for table. And here the wrist and shoulders are stacked, hips and knees are stacked. hands open wide. We're going to come into downward facing dog. If that is not part of your practice, you are welcome to stay in table, creating circles or cats and cows. Downward dog, we will tuck our toes. Take a breath in. Release the breath out. Let the knees hover above the earth. And then if tailbone extends towards the sky, legs lengthen, and you press the chest towards the back of the mat. Feet reset to be hip-width distance apart. Long spine and neck. Let the heels melt down, even if they don't touch the earth. It's that action of pressing them down. You can start to pedal here, bending one knee and then the other. But just tune into what the breath is creating here in this inverted shape. Three more sets of breath. And if you are moving, create some stillness. Gaze between the hands, and we'll start to walk the feet towards the top of the mat. Letting the feet land behind the hands. Feet come to be around mat distance apart, so feet on the edges. Heavy bend into the knees as you bow forward into this forward fold. Coming into Ragdoll, we will grab opposite elbows and hang heavy here. This takes pressure off of the low back. Hands release. Heel toe the feet in to where they are hip width or shoulder width distance apart. As you breathe in, we're coming to a halfway lift. Legs lengthen, hands land around the shins. Fingers are pressing in to the legs, extending long through the crown of the head and through the tailbone. As you exhale, bend into the knees, refold, but let the hands wrap around the back of the calves. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Shoulders are back. Exhale, Uttanasana, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bow. Warming up the spine. You have two more. Hands will release on the outer edges of the feet, starting to roll up to standing. Head will journey up last. Shoulders roll back. Hands to heart. Right foot is going to step halfway back. So you can take your gaze down. Right foot lifts and shifts. And once you plant, the right toes are still facing forward. We're coming into what is called pyramid. Here, hands to hips. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Slight bend into the left knee. Hands release and float the arms all the way up. As you exhale, hinge and bow forward. So we're bowing towards the center of the mat. Hands are framing the left foot. Release the head and neck. Pressing through the right heel. The hope is that you are creating opening through the back of the right leg. And as you're here, let the right hip draw forward, left hip draw back. Gazing forward, bend into the right knee, hips draw back, stepping the right foot back where it was, near the left, staying here in this forward fold. All the way up to standing you come, head is last. Shoulders roll back, hands to heart. Left foot lifts and steps halfway back, planting. Feet are facing forward, arms by your side. Take a breath. Journey the arms all the way up. And then bow forward. No rush. Hands lower, bending into the right knee. And maybe you notice on this side that you didn't step the left foot back as far. You can always make adjustments. Left hip forward, right hip back. Nice heavy neck here. Gaze towards the right foot, bend the left knee, hip shift back, slowly step the left foot up, forward fold, and rolling back up to stand. Standing wide on the mat, you can face with the short edge. Let the feet come out wider than shoulder width distance apart. Toes are angled out. Hands to hips. We're going to drop our seat, bend into the knees, and we're coming into what is called goddess. This could also be considered a squat. But notice when we're here, we don't want to have the tailbone sticking back. We want the tailbone descending and lifting up through the front of the pelvis. This protects the back body. And hands arrive at heart center. One full breath here. As you exhale, hands land on top of the thighs. Next breath out, left shoulder comes in towards center. So we're bending in, pressing the left thigh open, and your right hand is really here just for some stability as you're grounding through the feet. Come back through center, drop the right shoulder in. Through center, and one more time each side. Left shoulder drops. And as you're pressing the left thigh open, you're feeling a stretch more than likely in the inner left hip and inner left thigh. Come through center and now the right. Back to center, hands come together. Legs lengthen, arms lower. Back into goddess, hands together. Lengthen and lower. hand together. This time as the legs lengthen, arms grow wide into a V. Twist open to the right. Body and pelvis is still facing forward. So from the mid-chest and up, we're rotating and wrapping the body. Left arm around the front, right hand comes behind back. Gaze over the right shoulder. Coming through center, arms out wide. Twist to the left. Coming back through center, arms open. And release down by your side. Stepping feet to be hip-width distance apart. Hands float down, palms face forward. This shape is called Samastitihi, or your true north alignment. We're finding grounding through the feet and inviting that energy up and into the body. Nice and tall through the crown of the head. Taking this moment to honor what you have created here. Having gratitude for yourself, for taking pause, for slowing down, and choosing movement. Hands together at heart, bowing to the light of your heart. Thanks for being here. Namaste.